Good day, y'all. If you've watched any of my previous videos, just want to thank you for coming back and watching another one. This one is going to be on pretty much how to get better tips, or how to even get tips at all. My experience here, I probably came up with about 6 things to help me or help you with that. And let's go with number 1. That would be take batch orders. When orders start dropping, you get to look through them, see if they're a double order or a single order. Maybe sometimes you don't want to take a double order because there's an apartment in there somewhere, or it's just too far of a distance. I'd always just go with double order. 2 drops, you're almost guaranteed that one of them is going to tip, and that's just something I come up with. And number 2 would be getting to the customer's place fast. On these batch orders, some of it is out of your hands, so you're not able to get there as quick as you'd like. For example, the other day I had a batch order, and each order had 80 items. Well, one had 80 items, and the other had about 120 something items. One order, they're about 8 miles apart. And the first order, the 80 item order, was at an apartment complex on the 2nd floor, and the parking was not great. I had to park quite a distance, and it was quite a walk, and they had like dog food, cat food, everything you can think of. And it took a minute. It took a good minute to get all those bags and all those items up to the 2nd floor with that walk. It was out of my hands to get to the other person's place on time. And the other person had some frozen items. And when I got there, the items kind of defrosted. They're still cold, but they were defrosted, and they kind of set under their breath. It's kind of sucks that these are not like missing frost or something like that. And I said I apologize. I did apologize to them about that, but they did take it. But out of that, I came to the assumption that they didn't tip because of that one thing. It was out of my hands, but if you have control over it, get there as quick as you can, especially if they have frozen items. My third one would be communicate a little bit. If you just drop their items and you see them and you don't make any kind of communication, you're not as friendly as you could be, then my experience, there were some times where I rushed it, I dropped it, I made eye contact, I knew I should have waved or something, smiled at least, but I was just such in a rush that I didn't do it. And for those occasions, for those instances, I didn't get a tip. So that's another assumption. It could be just, they're not the tipping kind of people, but me missing those kind of opportunities to communicate, I believe that kind of ruined my chances for a tip. So from then on out, I communicate as much as I can when I can, but in those quick instances, I either see them, I give a nod, smile, wave. That help your chances of getting a tip. Most of the time, I just communicate. When over half the time they'll come out and they'll greet you, and you just make a little bit of conversation. How's the day going? Weather's nice. Just simple stuff. Because likely, chances are, if you keep doing this, you're going to be going back to the same places, because there are quite a few customers I've become familiar with, build a rapport with, and that relationship just gives you, it's like, I don't want to say opportunity, but it's almost like a guaranteed tip from these people, because you build that rapport, that communication, and you're just friendly and nice. That would be my third one. My fourth one is follow the instructions on the app. Customers leave details, instructions. Follow those as best as you can. So when you don't follow those, then That'll likely ruin your chances from getting a tip. There'll be instructions like ring the doorbell, or leave at a certain part of the house, or stay until someone answers the door. There's one that had me call them when I get there, wait in front of a certain garage door, wait till it opens up. Just simple instructions like that. My 5 is follow the post-in or the signage that the customer has on the door. There are more than a few instances where they leave signage out like do not knock, it'll wake the dogs, the dog will wake the baby, and it would be a bad day, stuff like that. There was an instance where I went to a customer's house and they had the signage out and it says don't wake the dogs or don't knock, and they will wake up the house and they will not be happy people. And I did the best I could. I had my sneakers on, walked up as quiet as I could, and as soon as I unzipped my freezer bag and they heard a crackle of one of the potato chip bags, and their dogs went off. I couldn't avoid it. It was out of my hands. Like, dogs have some kind of supersonic hearing. Like, you could be at the sidewalk and your shoe can scrape against a rock, and that little bit of noise, even I couldn't hear it, alerts the dogs in the house, which is about 50, 75 feet away from the door of the house itself. I mean, sometimes you can't avoid it. It's just gonna happen. But if you can, just listen to the signs. Don't wake the baby, don't wake the dogs, don't knock if the sign's there, and yeah, you'll likely get a tip. On that instance where I woke the dogs and I was as quiet as I could, didn't get a tip on that one. That instance, they had 90 items potential for a tip, but because of that one thing, I think I missed that opportunity. It's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. My last one is check your cargo. Because the Walmart workers will load your car, your truck, and if you don't check it, it's likely your items are going to get damaged, and if they're damaged, it leaves a bad mark on your name. The customer probably called, complain about you, and it was kind of, it is in your hands, but kind of ain't. But you always want to check. Or if you didn't get out, I know the app says just stay in the car to load it up. If you don't get out and kind of guide where they put these items, like the bread or the eggs, they'll probably, I'm thinking about this one instance where they put the bread in the bottom of the bins that I have for the groceries, and they threw 2-liter sodas on top of that, so it just completely obliterated the bread. And there's one where they put the eggs in one of the bins, and they put the cat litter on top of the eggs. And I didn't check the cargo on those days. I didn't monitor how they were loading things up, and things get destroyed. And when you get to the customer's house, it's not a good image on you. Probably not a good image on Walmart, but probably not on you, because they believe you loaded the stuff and you're careless with how they're loaded up. So when you have the opportunity, or every opportunity, just go kind of give them a little bit of guidance on how to load the items up. If not, stuff will get destroyed and they'll completely ruin your opportunity for a tip. But from my experience, those are 6 things I got for you. Just take batch orders, get to the customer's place as fast as you can, so it gives less chance for things to defrost. Communicate with your customers, wave if you could if you're in a time pinch. Follow the instructions on the app. That helps out a lot. Watch out for signage on the doors, so you don't, disturb the household or whatnot. And I think the most important thing is just check your cargo. Kind of guide how they load things up. But yeah, from my experience, I believe just following these things will help you get tips or help you get better tips or avoid you from getting no tips. But yeah, that's all I have for you. I just thought I want to share that with you. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see ya.